So it is a very scary time right now in the United States of America in 2025. You have people being disappeared, and they're not even doing anything. Most of those people, those Venezuelans that were deported, the vast majority of them didn't even have a criminal record. They weren't deported for any crimes. They were simply deported, in my opinion, is via racism, just to get these people out of the country. We're seeing Trump break the law, and we're seeing his far right wing Republicans on the Supreme Court and other courts validate him. So we have a very dangerous situation here, where people in the United States are being disappeared and being deported to concentration camps in El Salvador and whatnot. And the question must be invoked at some point. When is this going to be for citizens? When is this going to be for everyday Americans? Because they're trying to say these people are in a gang. They're trying to say these people are here illegally. They're trying to say all these things when all people in the United States have due process under the United States Constitution, regardless of citizenship. It's in the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, and it's in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that due process is guaranteed to everyone within the borders of the United States government at any time, regardless of citizenship. That means you could be illegal. That means you could be legal. You could just be here. I don't know how you got here. You could just be here. But the thing is, everybody has due process, and the Trump administration is shitting all over that. Okay? And they have enough judges in their corner pocket to get this stuff overriding the U.S. Constitution. As sick as that sounds, as fantastical as that sounds, that's what's happening right now, okay? So we have to really be on guard, especially if you're a lefty, especially if you're on the left, anywhere on the left. I don't even care if you're a liberal or you're a progressive or you're a socialist or you're an anarchist or a communist, whatever you are on the left. We have to be concerned now more than ever. So the question is, what do you do? What do we do? The thing to do right now, and I mean this with all my heart and soul, is build community at the local level. What that means is, in this capitalist hellscape we live in, there's a lot of isolation. There's a lot of solitude. And the capitalists and the powers that be rely on that isolation, right? And they're going to use that isolation right now. That's why it's easier to disappear people, because we live in a capitalist society where everybody primarily is on their own in some way. A lot of people live alone. A lot of people are in remote places. A lot of people don't have a lot of community. So right now, your goal, I don't care who you are, I don't care who I'm talking to right now, you're going to call 3 people today, and you're going to let them know what's going on in this country. You're going to give them this video. You're going to tell them that you need to know who I am, where I am, and we need to build community somehow. We need to build a network. We need to get together once a week. We need to have a political get together. We need to have a book club of some sorts. We need to have a bowling league. We need to have something where we're getting together and we're talking about the issues, and we're talking about what's going on in the country right now. That's really scary. And when you have community like this, it's harder for them to disappear people. It's harder for them to do the things they're doing when community is strong. This is why capitalist societies can do these things, because we're so isolated. So we have to become less isolated. You need to be in touch with your family more. You need to be in touch with your coworkers more. You need to be in touch with your neighbors more. You need to join clubs. You need to start clubs. You need to start projects with people in them, because this is a moment of urgency, okay? Because we don't know where this is going, right? We don't know where this can go. All we know is that the recipe for it to go really, really bad is there, and the infrastructure is there and intact, okay? They're starting with certain groups of people, But when we look back at fascism throughout history, it always starts with a group of people and then it expands elsewhere. Okay? We're seeing history repeat itself. And we don't know how far it's going to go. We don't know. Okay? But they're giving us a lot of information right now that it's going to go bad. That's all we do know. They don't care about the Constitution. They have judges overriding the U.S. Constitution. Your representatives aren't going to keep you safe. The justice system isn't going to keep you safe. Who's going to keep you safe? Community. Start building community now. You're isolated. You need community. People need to know where you're at, especially if you're disabled, especially if you're LGBTQ, especially if you're a person of color, especially if you're on the left, okay? Because throughout history, we know who these people target. They target the people I just mentioned, okay? Immigrants, gay people, okay? Black people, brown people, anybody who they deem less than and unworthy, okay? And we know how they feel about all these people. I mean, the clarion call is being sent out here. Build community now. Build community now. Any way you can, the best way you can, the best way you know how. I know we're thinking on the fly, and I know that these things are difficult. You have to do them, okay? Especially if you're on the margins, especially if you're a minority of some type, if you're disabled, you need that community now. Because I don't know who they're going to disappear next. I don't know where this is going. And I want you to be safe. And the only way to be safe right now is community at the local level. Be safe. Do what you need to do to build your community now.